I'm back and it's time to party, and by party I mean we're gonna quilt this quilt. So I decided that since I've got a lot of blue on the front and my binding is gonna be these little triangles here, that I would do something a little different on the back. I looked at some of the colors of the different signs and kind of gauged it from there, and also kind of took into consideration what color haven't I done on the back, either recently, if at all, or in a while. And so I picked this kind of like terracotta brick color because it kind of coordinates with these signs in here, like this little like tool sign and this please keep off the grass sign. I think it's going to be a fun little alternative to kind of do something a little out there, a little different, but not like out there to the part of it doesn't match. So I think that's gonna be really fun. And I don't know how I'm gonna quilt this. I think I'm gonna let it kind of speak to me as I'm pinning it in and getting it all ready. So I'm gonna go piece this back, get our back all loaded, probably piece some batting because I'm still trying to work through that big old stash pile in my closet. And then we're gonna hopefully have an idea of how I'm gonna quilt this. So I basted everything in. This is all flipped up because I was measuring, but I've got it all situated in there. My crazy Frankenstein batting yet again. We're slowly getting to the end of that bag. And so I'm gonna go with this graphite thread. It's that blue-gray. I think that's as good as I'm gonna get with getting close to this color. I didn't wanna go too dark and I didn't wanna go super light. So that's what we're gonna do. And then let me show you what I'm looking at as far as a design for stitching. So I'm going to do this heat wave one. I'm pretty sure I haven't done it. I don't remember when I last did it, but it kind of looks like wood grain. I think it's going to look good on there just to give it some kind of texture. And I did it nice and big because I didn't want that to be too dense. So I've sized it up to 16 inches-ish from top to bottom. So let's see what happens here. So here's how the front turned out with that like heat wave wood grain looking. I think it turned out really cool. It kind of gives it that texture and movement, and it goes in the same direction as the triangles for the most part. It goes up and down instead of side to side. And so on the back, we've got this nice blue outline, which I think looks pretty cool on itself. So now it is time to trim this all up, and I've got my triangle binding already made. So that's gonna go along the side here, and I think I might top stitch it in this color just to kind of not have a blue line, but if I don't have a thread that's color, then we're gonna do blue. So let's get this done. So we are back, we're all bound, we're all ready to party, and this charmed quilt, I think it turned out so good. Probably because it's back more in my vein of more saturated, darker colors, but I think the little triangles in there were a fun little pop, and even their little triangle-ness on the binding, let me find that binding, just kind of tie it all together. It kind of looks like shark teeth from K Facet with their little pointies in there, so I think it's a fun little binding, just a little something extra on the end. But there is that peek at that. I can tell we're sideways because that kind of wood grain flame looking, I think it was called Heat Wave, just adds the right amount of texture. And I think having the red on the back is just really fun. I thought it was going to be tricky to find something that matched, but I think it's a good combo altogether. And so I think this would be fun to do as a stash buster, even more so, like using jelly rolls and charm squares, because remember this was from the Stash Bust 3-yard quilt book, so it has some pre-cut friendly options in there which make everything that much more magical. So we're gonna head outside now and go do a quilt drop so you can see all this fun in its entirety, and then we'll be on to the next quilt real soon.